All right, I gotta fold these towels, but I'm gonna tell y'all. So here's what's happening. Those of you who may not be aware, I am actively reprogramming, restructuring, whatever language you want to use, reparenting, rewifing, I don't know, rehumanizing myself. I have realized how I have lived up until this point has been backwards and detrimental to myself, my family, my community, my society. The world that I want to live in isn't the world that exists with a bunch of people that are miserable and hate life. I want to live in a world where people love life and they love their family and they're not running to get away from them as soon as they're old enough to get away. So what that means is I got some work to do, especially as a mother, especially as a woman, especially as the divine being that I am in this lifetime, right? So I'm doing the work, but I'm doing it publicly. In 2013, God called me to do so. I was told in 2013 to share all my business. Yes, I was prompted to start a blog that was called Lonnie Lifestyle, which I don't know if it still exists anymore. I don't know how to find it, but I was prompted in 2013 to start a blog that's called Lonnie Lifestyle, where I just share all my business. Well, in sharing all my business, I'm not saying I got the answers. I'm just letting people know that we don't have to live in shame for being human. I'm letting people know that we can try to figure this out. And I'm not saying my methodology is the methodology. What I'm saying is there's work to be done. So with that understanding, in that background, here's what's happening. I identify as a scientist. I identify as a lot of things, but I identify as a scientist, which means everything is study. I study people. I've been studying people knowingly since I was 15 years old. So when I speak on people, people are like, you think you know everybody, you think you know people. I was like, I do. I've been studying them since I was 15. So typically when this behavior happens, it is symbolic of this. And if you stick around long enough, you'll realize I knew what I was talking about. Why? Because I've been studying and watching and analyzing myself and others since I was 15 years old. And I'm much older than 15 now. If I had a PhD, you'd think I knew what I was talking about. But since my PhD is in life, there's no degree, so people discount my knowledge, but they shouldn't. Here's what I'm doing. Me and my husband are in a state of brokenness. I'm trying to watch my language. My husband and I are in a state of brokenness. And I want to fix it. I think that we can enjoy each other 1,000%. I've truly enjoyed being with my husband up until recently. But how have I enjoyed it? Because he's given me my way. He's the first man that lets me do whatever the fuck I want to. And he doesn't mind because he loves me so much, and he doesn't mind because whatever I want to, he benefits from. I'm not taking him down, I'm taking him up. So he's along for the ride. And I don't mind because I like controlling everything. But I realize my happiness up until this point has been to the detriment of his happiness, which means he's willing to sacrifice his happiness for my happiness. And I don't want that, because what that builds is resentment. My husband resents me whether he knows that he does or not. Why? Because how can you truly be happy with someone who pretty much energetically tells you to shut up every chance they get? Now, I don't tell my husband that, but we have to understand when we don't allow others, even our children, to have thoughts and opinions, and taking their thoughts and opinions into consideration when we're making decisions on the behalf of their lives and things that affect them. We're telling them to shut up. We're telling them that they don't matter. So my husband has been told to shut up and he doesn't matter, and what he thinks doesn't matter all of his life, including me, including his caregivers. So you have to recognize that as a caregiver. Are you energetically telling your children to shut up? Especially your little boys. Because with your little boys, they're going to be husbands one day. And if you never give them an opportunity, or if you are satisfied with, I don't know, or you don't even give them a chance to say, I don't know, guess what? They're going to become men who don't know. And they're going to go and find a woman who is bossy enough to lead them just like you were bossy. But anyway, here's what's happening. I'm sharing a journey with you guys. I'm sharing the work that is being done, but know that work is actively being done. And I had to break a cycle with my husband. I have identified that life is in loops, and within those loops, there's a cycle. And all those cycles can be broken. I'm not sure if a loop has been broken because I haven't seen a broken loop yet. I just acknowledge that there are loops. And so one of the cycles that me and my husband have are we bump up against each other, you know, we have a little talk and then we keep going. We bump up against each other and then we have a little talk and we keep going. I was like, this has to stop. We need to fix this. So how do I fix it? Now, I don't know if this is right. I don't know if it's wrong because I'm making this up as I go, but I'm doing something, right? I don't tell you guys what to do. I just tell you to do something. And I'm demonstrating what I'm doing. So what I'm doing with my husband is I'm fixing our marriage. But first I have to break it because it's already broken. And it's been established on a shaky, fucked up ass foundation. And so what I had to do and what you see in those videos is I am breaking a cycle, which means I know you guys are saying love through, love through, love through. Because they get comfortable in that love. They know, all of them know. It's just like the best example I could give is your kids don't listen until you start yelling. Your kids know that they could push you up until this point. And at this point, this is the breaking point. So they could push you up to that point. They know what your limit is. My husband knows what my limit is to start the cycle over. I'm done starting the cycle over. So that means when we get to this limit, I gotta surpass that limit. And I gotta take that limit as far as it needs to go for him to break the cycle. Because I know I'm breaking the cycle, but he has to break the cycle. So what you see that's happening and that I'm sharing with you guys is that I have energetically and physically removed myself from my husband. He no longer has access to me. We're in the same home, but he has no access to me, which drove him mad and truly caused him to have a breakdown. That breakdown, what was necessary for him to truly just come into all those emotions that he was bottling up. This man is literally saying, I'm trying to kill him from stress. All of that shit that you've been holding on towards me since 2010 when we first met and I've been treating you like shit ever since, all that time, yeah. And I wasn't bad. I watched those old videos, I was like, I really wasn't that bad. But for me, I was bad because I always need to move in love. Every moment needs to be in love or we're wasting each other's time. I could drop dead right now. It's the last thing I did in love. If it wasn't, I wasted my time. Gotta go. Anyway, I don't remember where I left off because Boss Lady walked in, but what I'm saying is what I'm doing is very intentional. Now, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm being very intentional on what I'm doing. And the first step was love, affection, deprivation, because something I know about males is as long as they can access that which they desire, they will make no more effort beyond the effort that they've made. And so in order for me to encourage my husband to move past that spot in the cycle that he constantly is used to, I had to do something different. So I completely removed myself physically, emotionally from him. And then now I am in the space of returning love to him and loving him as much as I can. And in that, he has went from, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm perfect, to, you know what, I got some work to do too. So my tactics may not be pretty, you guys may not agree with them, but I'm sharing the process with you guys so that you guys can get an inclination that you truly can raise a man that is willing to be raised. My husband is capable of change. Most men are too prideful to ever alter. They think once they turned 18 and they became a man, they're a man. If you're the same person you were at 18, you're not a man. You probably shouldn't want to be the man you were at 18 and 50. So my husband has demonstrated that he can evolve and change, but the encouragement looks a little different than maybe the encouragement for your man. But my man is responding to this, so I'm going to have my husband back sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later.